Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here, with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with BlackICE and Third Reich Events installed. We're going to continue with our preparations for the invasion of Egypt. We're just going to get some of the proper units loaded aboard the aircraft. Battle platform, I believe. Let's go over to snipers. Remke, we put Remke in charge of this Airborne division. Had just another Luftwaffe officer. He's a very interesting Airborne officer. Just a little bit of history here. He was in charge of, I think it was more of a brigade that was training up, parachute brigade that was training up to go in with Fulgore. I think I'm pronouncing that mostly correctly, to parachute into Malta here. That operation was cancelled. Not exactly sure why, but obviously they thought it wasn't going to work, or wasn't worth the cost. And it was sent to North Africa, so there was a parachute brigade, battalion. I'm not absolutely sure. I think maybe more of a battalion. And it wasn't motorized, so it was a foot infantry, elite foot infantry unit down here. After the Battle of Tobruk and the British breakthrough, they were all on foot, and the Afrika Korps was streaming out. If I remember correctly, they started to march back out, found a British unit, and captured their trucks and drove out. Through the night. I'm serious, and got their unit, because he was very, very determined officer, and got their unit out of the trap, and back to Tunisia, and captured vehicles. And then when Tunisia fell, I think most of the unit, or much of the unit, was still there, but he and a group of them got on sailing vessels, local sailing dhows or whatever, and sailed. I don't know, I forget whether it was to Sardinia or to Italy or somewhere. Sailed out of Tunisia because they weren't going to surrender. They got out. So very determined gentleman there. So I just have a bit of a soft spot for him, and he's a good leader, so we're putting him in charge of that division. Okay, transport engines advance. Transfer that to transport poles improvements. Airborne assault tactics, which we're getting ready to use, so it won't quite be added yet, I don't think, but good, keep that going. Artillery unit training has advanced, that's also nice. Switched over to direct fire units. This division, 25th. I think it was part of our immediate plan, so that's fine. With all these upgrades, they're ripping apart my organizational structure. I don't know which divisions in which corps, so there's going to have to be a major reorganization at some point. For Barbarossa and that kind of stuff. It matters now, and theoretically it should be done, because if you have the right divisional and corps commanders, they will reduce. I'm mostly just waiting for this to be able to they will reduce supply consumption and things like that, even when they're not being operationally used. So keep that in mind. Okay, SS Panzer HQs have advanced. That's advanced. Small caliber tankers. Yeah, they'll be useful. They've dealt with the British invasion up there. They're getting moved into place here. Fighting these core HQs. Free Norway has. Obviously, you need to have the fully organized, or nearly so, to get them into the transport, but it's also a safety catch, because if you're putting them into an operation that's going to be critical, and their organization will be more. Okay, mechanized infantry research. I think. Yes. Add that. Research. Logistical worth. Yes, we will continue this. This will become critical. This helps. Basically, it represents researching, adding trucks and trains and that kind of thing. Yeah. Or using the ones you have more efficiently. Okay, the goal is to capture a port here. This one's going to be too heavily defended just because of the fortifications. I mean, I might be able to dump all of the dump all of the airborne troops right into there and maybe take it, but that could be a costly fight. This one looks enticing, and I'm considering it, but I think it's going to get reaction too fast from the forces here. Where if I land here, road networks have advanced. If I land here, a little longer time for them to react, plus I can drop into Paris, some additional units here, and capture some of the terrain they're going to advance across. what I'll need to do here is that'll give us 3 Panzer divisions. Sort of the trick is to get them into the port before the British react too heavily, as well as before they can be intercepted with a significant fleet. The road network level 5. National unity is the same, but slightly better reorganization. Regain rate. Okay, 4 engine. Research. It's completed. Systems. Alright, dig load into that. Okay. Now I'm gonna just make sure I'm gonna fly air superiority over this problem, also reconnaissance, but also just to make sure that the British don't start bombing it. Okay. So there's a HQ and a colonial garrison unit. Alright, like Fleet Corps 7 to land first. Hopefully, student in command. Heavy transports. Also positions. Bombers. Ground attack. Supplies. Marine HQs have advanced. That's enough of that for the moment. Active zone would be useful. Yes, we'll do that. And they show up here for Germany in the swamp. Over here. Uphold the beach. Now, I haven't activated Italy yet. That was my original intention, was to activate Italy, to draw the forces away, but because this is fairly low level of garrison here, because I've sometimes seen stacks in each of these ports. I'm hoping to pull some of these forces away, get them moving a bit, and then get Italy into the fight. Keep them tied up. We need to see about building a few things here. Don't like this in that fort attacks to deal with forts, you have to build a specialized division. They did obviously bring in some specialized units, most assuredly, but I'll use one of the elite HQs. Already on the map. But I think it's, how do I put this? They've compensated in the game for bad AI by increasing some of the fort difficulties and things, because you don't have this in regular. You have difficulties, but not like this. And so, to then, because so the AI, won't have any reserves back in the capital, so you show up and there's a couple of core at each queues defending it or something like that, and so then you get to swipe it all aside. So they're compensating this way. So now, to compensate for their compensation, you have to build some unique division to be able to take it, and that's sort of where I'm going. That I don't know that I think that this is the best, but I'm doing some playthrough, and there's alarm going off outside, so I'm gonna end this session here.